Everything really is energy. I'm sitting on my bed with my legs crisscross applesauce and fell asleep in my makeup. And it still looks good. I have to just touch some of the splotchy places and do my eyebrows, under eye and stuff. But I decided I'm gonna wash my face and redo it. But first, I had to center and ground myself because there's a lot of energy going on. It's very windy. It's cool outside, so I'm going to go outside today. But I already went, so I'm gonna go again. And it's not as hot as it was like 80s and 90s the last 2 weeks off and on, except when it rained. We have to ground ourselves daily. We have to make it a daily practice, and it can take some time to get in the habit. But there are a few things that we can do to start to make that a part of our everyday ritual. For example, if you aren't used to sitting in silence, I was not. I lived in a city, and at the end of my block, literally at the end of my block, was a fire station. So every single night in Northeast DC, that's all I heard. Every night, police sirens all over the place. So I was used to chaos, and of course, because it was chaos outside, there was chaos inside my house. Whether people were talking very loudly, it was people yelling on the phone. It was just a lot of noise, right? So one way that you can start is if you can go for a walk, go for a walk. If you can find a corner somewhere and listen to some type of any music that makes you feel calm. You can start to add in those little practices. Being in water, taking a bath, taking a shower. I've even found that wetting my hands, like you see people in movies, they wet their hands and put water over their face. It actually does help. It does help. Put water on your face if you can, if you don't have makeup on. On the back of your neck, right here, there's a point, an energy point right back here. I like to also wet my hands and take it down my arms because for some reason I feel it all here. So I do my face, my hair. Even when had more hair and my hair was natural, my hair loves to be wet, not soaking wet, so that it doesn't get any type of bacteria or irritation. But like fingertips, doing this to my scalp, I don't worry about my roots being straight even when I have hair because they're not straight. So they will never be straight unless I make them straight, just like their owner. And that helps. Like some days I just go and just all over my arms, neck, shoulders, back, and I'm just. I've never tried this, but some people have suggested screaming in water, screaming into a pillow, like literally putting your face in water and just screaming. Screaming into a pillow, which I've done when I couldn't do it, out and about. Singing, humming definitely helps. Um, and truth be told, I've heard some people say, "Oh, my family say, oh, singing and humming." They always get on me about that. Fuck them. Get used to saying "fuck you." Like unless your family is abusive to the point of where it's a risk if you fight back, like a serious risk. If it's just words, ignore them. Genuinely, if it's just words, ignore their asses. You'll learn very early on how little their opinion matters over your well-being. Fuck them. Oh my God, I can't. Fuck them. Fuck them. Anybody that causes your well-being to be in any type of disarray, regardless of their background, their history, their own trauma, fuck them. So if it's just, oh my God, you're humming, I'm like, yeah, I am. Keep humming. Who cares? Let them be annoyed. They can put in their own headphones, right? Um, Saying, outside of somebody having to work or something like that. That's understandable. If they're just irritated because their soul is irritated, fuck them. um, Singing definitely. When I sing, I could tell there's a lot of energy growing in me when I don't want to talk or don't want to sing. And a few weeks ago, that was me. It was a lot of energy going on because I was refueling my body. So I had a lot of energy. going on in my body. I was eating a lot more protein, meat, potatoes, things like that, because I had to gain my weight back. And I had to first allow my body to get adjusted to it. And then I had to get used to moving again, because you can feel very heavy and sluggish when you eat certain foods. And that's because it takes your body a longer time to process those foods, right? So then I had to work with my mind. I had to be like, mind, we need to move so my body can digest. You need to go to the bathroom every single day, unless there are, serious medical issues. But every single day, I go to the bathroom once or twice a day, depending on what I eat. So every single day, you gotta go to the bathroom. If I eat a lot more beef, I need to move a lot more so that my body can process that food. If I'm eating a lot less, like today for breakfast, I had eggs and 2 small sweet potatoes. Like I wanted a sweet potato, so I grabbed a small one. Then I went back and had another one. So I'm moving, but I'm mostly drinking water. Also having to listen to my body, because there are things going on in my body that I know how to remedy because I've been in this body. There are things going on in my body that I know how to deal with because I've been in this body for 33 years, so I know what's going on with me. And going to doctors, they immediately just say surgery or here's 15 million medications and shit for giving me medications for stuff that have nothing to do with what is going on in my body. No, absolutely not. There's a time for medicine, there's a time for Western medicine and surgery, and there's also time to see, is there something that I can do first? And if I exhaust some options, all right, fine. It ain't that deep. Like, it really isn't. I noticed that when I eat a lot more, sometimes it feels hard to tell when I'm full. And now that I noticed that, because that was the issue with me when I was younger. Now that I noticed that, my body has been like so hungry. But I also realized that once I have eaten enough, and I'm like, I've eaten enough today. I know I've eaten enough today. Why am I still hungry? Your body may be dehydrated. Your body may not be hydrated enough. So where you think you're hungry, unless you actually are, where you think you're hungry, you may actually be thirsty. This is your body's way of telling you that it needs some hydration. So some fruit, maybe even a salad if you do that, and plenty of water. I've been drinking warm water, like a lot. And even more so because I've been refueling. I drank a gallon, how much? 140 some ounces, 148 ounces, I think, in one day. And that was because over the course of a week, I had been eating a lot of carbs, a lot of beef, a lot of chicken. And while my body absolutely needed it that week, I didn't know, but I was getting ready to start my period. I was starting my period very early. I had 2 periods last month, which I think a lot of women did last month. We're all collecting our energy together for something big this summer. But I needed more water. I needed more hydration. I started taking more baths. I started taking more showers. And that actually helped me to connect with my body and say, am I actually hungry? Which at times I was. Once I refueled, that allowed me to go back to eating smaller meals. So I eat more frequently during the day. I'm noticing this rise in white women doctors. So I'm going to be specific with it. It's white women doctors who are saying, you don't need to eat 2 to 3 times a day. You just need to eat, a very nutrient-rich meal, one big nutrient-rich meal at the beginning of the day. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've done that. And I still need to eat 2 to 3 times a day. Like my body, I could feel my body is just, I need those nutrients and things. And that's always been, because I've done the, it doesn't necessarily have to be big, but I've done the nutrient-dense meal during the day. And the only time I was able to do that was when I was working and busy. When I'm at home, just being a goddess, my body wants to snack on healthy things throughout the day, whether that's nuts, whether that's fruit, whether that's having a little, some greenery or something like that. My body wants to snack, so I'm going to feed my body, period. And I noticed that a lot of that is rooted in fear of food too, and fear of pleasure. Some people do need just one meal. Absolutely. And there have been times over the last year where I just needed one meal during, for breakfast. That's not me the majority of the year. So knowing, it's so funny, people say, listen to your body. A lot of people don't know their body because they've been so disconnected from their body for so long that they have no idea what their body actually needs. They'll listen to their body and give it something that they've been used to giving it in survival mode, when in actuality, they need something completely different and they just don't know it yet. Like I said, some people, like growing up, I used to eat a lot. And people, of course, old folks will either tell you, eat all your food, or, oh my God, you eat too much. Dumbass way of raising children. It's very confusing for a child's psyche. You need to eat all your food or you eat too much, drink some water. Some days I did need to drink some water. Some days I was absolutely hungry because I had a lot of energy. I naturally have a lot of energy in my body in bursts. So in order to keep those bursts going, I need to eat a lot more. Well, not just keep those bursts going, but I have a lot of energy and I need a lot of fuel. And I'm supposed to be a lot more active than what I have been in the past. And it feels more natural for me to be more active during the day than being sedentary, unless, the energy just calls for it. Like when we were having those solar flares, that was a lot of fucking energy the week after. And I was so restless, but nothing I could do was getting that energy out. I just had to lay down until it passed. And I think it passed with the wind. It was like really, the sun was bright as fuck. It was really windy. I don't think it was it hot? I don't think it was really hot. I think it was actually a good temperature. It was just really windy and the sun was, what was it hot? No, it was hot. It was hot. Yeah. All I could do was just lay down. Like music was too much, and that's when I noticed that I stopped listening to music. Music was too much. Noise was too much. Everything was irritating, so I just lay down. Or to the shower or a bath, and that's pretty much all I did. Because when all that energy is going on, you have to either get it out, and at the time I couldn't focus enough to get it out, so I just had to lay there I think I laid down as well as just walking around a little bit for a few hours, because I woke up after only like 4 hours or 4 hours of sleep and was up, had a lot of energy. And that was like around 8 or 9. And then I think it finally stopped around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then that was when I could finally like do my flow and everything. Because I did my ritual and it didn't feel like it was enough. So I finally, by the second time that the next go round of solar flares happened, I was like, okay, I'm just going to lay here. I'm just going to lay here. And then that's when I started listening to my mermaid frequencies and stuff, because that was the only thing that could calm my mind. I couldn't focus enough to write, which I love writing. You listening to music was way too much. I think I filmed a lot of videos during that time, just talking, just yapping, because it was just coming out like word vomit. It was just coming out. And I know there was a lot of accidents, there was a lot of violence during that time, and you have to have an outlet. You have to. If you don't have an outlet, it will, that's what the saying means when it says that idle mind is a devil's workshop. If you do not have an outlet, it will eat you from the inside out. And it will either eat you physically, and that's a lot of reasons why a lot of people are sick, because of that energy stuck in their body. That's really it. Energy, it manifests as energy first, and then it starts to build into something more physical, and it builds and it builds and it builds until it takes over your entire body. There are certain things that people haven't figured out how to people have figured it out. It's just a lot of people either prefer, don't don't care, prefer Western medicine, are afraid to not go the other route, or don't want to blend it, don't want to be, or whatever it is. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me. Genuinely do not care. I used to try to convince people, well, try this and try that. Your funeral that I won't be attending. That's fine. Because when you don't have any other options and you still being choosy, you have chosen your fate. That's fine. It's just free will. It was a lot of everything going on. Like the horses were even standing still. Like our horses, they were just outside, just standing still. And every once in a while they would run and play and chase each other, but they were just standing still because there was so much wind and energy. The dogs were barking because there was so much energy going on. So I just had to just lay still. So I'm doing great. I have my camera upside down because I want to make sure that, you can hear me. I'm doing my ritual. And I also realized that sometimes, depending on how much energy is in my body, I may have to do my rituals twice or 3 times. Literally, like, so I do this, what do they call it? Look up Chi Yoga with Lu Chin. It's Qiyoga with, and her name is Luchin. And she has this facial ritual thing that she does where she's sitting by the water, and it's at the end of the video where she shows head tapping, and she does this all the way down 18 times. Was it 9 or 18? I feel like it was I don't remember. I do it 18. Like 18, pat your head 18 times and do that 18 times. So 18 times 18. And then dragon flies through the forest or goes through the forest back and forth 18 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then do that 18 times. Or however many times you need. And I've been doing that as many times as I need because I notice that it helps to clear out any brain fog, if I have any, because my diet's been heavy, so there's been brain fog. When my diet is lighter, I don't worry about that. As well as any energy that's growing in my body. And I find that I'm a lot more at peace. I can focus better. And last week, I had to do that. Actually, that was this week. I had to do that 3 times. So the whole thing 3 times because my brain was just, I had a lot of energy. Because there was a situation that I chose not to express myself the way that I wanted to. And I chose to redirect that energy into myself to help me alchemize my energy in my own favor. That's what I chose to do, because sometimes when you see people and you know people's lives and you know their lives ain't going nowhere, you can either give them a tongue lashing, which I enjoy doing. Some people absolutely deserve it. But this week, I decided not to. So I've had a lot of energy in my body, as well as needing to hydrate a lot more, which I haven't been doing like I'm supposed to. So that's on me. So I have my bottle of water. I'm ready to go refill it. It's 48 ounces. And I'm going to drink that and hydrate more than I eat. Because I feel like I've eaten enough this week that I can go back to my smaller meals. There's a Sagittarius full moon coming up. And that's in my sign. My sun and my moon is in Sagittarius. And I feel that energy. And usually when something is about to take off, I'll have certain things come into my, I used to think of it as like some people say, "Oh, you'll get tested." You know, you'll get tested. I don't believe in tests anymore. I used to. I used to absolutely to choose to decide whether or not you're ready for it. I don't believe in that anymore. Now I look at it as opportunity for, you know how you play video games like with Mario Kart and you get those boosters in the box, the mystery box. I feel like it's like that. Once you know how to use the energy in your favor, it can either weigh on you very heavily or it can boost you into the next the next timeline. So any type of like people attempting to humble me or bring my energy down, I now take that energy and that fuel that I can use to cuss them out and use that energy, whether it's anger, frustration, whether it's hurt or whatever, and pour it into whatever it is that I'm doing. So meanwhile, their life will be stuck because they felt like they needed to humble me because they were threatened. That's why they do it. They felt threatened and unworthy to be in your presence. I'm getting better and better. I'm getting hotter and hotter. I'm getting healthier and healthier. I am lighter. I am happier. I am more at peace. I've come a long way because I used to love cussing people out or telling people about themselves, which I still will do, but it's not as necessary anymore because I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't. I am back to not caring, and that's how much I don't care. The old me was trying to come up with something to add on to that, and I was just like, I don't care. I love that so much. So I'm gonna do my brain tapping really quick, and it doesn't have to be that hard. Now I did do it a little harder earlier this week because my brain had a lot of energy. I went not like smacking your head, but pretty firm. I don't know. I didn't even count that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think it was 9. I can watch the video, but do what you need to do. Yeah, it was 9. And she has another video that I just did called like clearing away the blockages, like moving the chi where you're standing and you're swaying and bouncing and stuff. Oh, that's also good to get that energy out because I haven't want I want to jump rope. One, our grass is too tall. We gotta get our grass cut. But I want to jump rope outside, but I feel like my energy is too heavy for that. Like not too heavy. My body wants to do something else. So I've been dancing. I've been like swaying through the house. I've been like moving my hips and stuff. Like my body wants to do that. You know, I feel more like snake energy, more serpent cat energy. Like I just want to move like this. I don't want to jump. Like I'll do bouncing, I'll sway, but I don't want to jump. I don't want to. Right now, I don't want to run. I have more like this energy going on in my body. So, um, not really belly dancing this week. Probably next week. So I did belly dancing. I did a really deep hip workout, and I feel like that kind of catapulted my energy too, because I have never been able to stretch that deep, and I don't know where that came from. And I think it's because I've been doing so much of this movement. It's not me forcing myself into positions to try to make myself be able to do a split. It's following whatever my body wants to do, and it feels so good to do that. What else? I've been eating with my hands a lot more. Like I've been feeling very primal. Like I of course been using not of course, but I've been using a spoon and a fork, for my food. But then midway through, like when I'm almost done, I will be eating with my hands, like, and it just feels so. Of course, it's natural because that's what we were doing anyway, and it just feels more satisfying that way. What's something else I was going to add? Let me stretch my leg out. But I will do a little bit of cardio, more likely dancing before circulation. That's very important. But I just don't want to jump. I don't want to do anything very hard. I more so want to do softer, flowy movement. We went to the spa and got into the like the pool, the heated pool, and I was like, I could just stay here. That's the type of vibe that I'm on right now. Hey. Go faster. That's my flying around and let me know when it's time to get up and go outside. I just want to lay down right now. I think I might do that because I didn't get much sleep. For some reason, my body wanted to eat at 2 o'clock in the morning. My roommate made fried okra and rice, and I ate it, thinking that I was going to be able to film after that. After that, I was knocked out. I did wait 2 hours before I went to sleep, but I was 2, 3. I think it was 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 hours before I went to sleep, but mm-mm. And I think that's what my body is calling me to do, just rest right now. Yes, do the movements for your body to be, digestion, but really hydrate and give my body those nutrients and just rest. Because I feel even with the food that I'm eating, I'm staying away from coffee because I can tell I have the energy. I just have to redirect it. But in the midst of that, my body is like, girl, lay down. Like now. My body's like, girl, lay down. My makeup's pretty good. Did have on lashes, so I did take those off before I went to sleep. Let me pause this real quick.